What attributes do you identify one should have to become a good leader in higher education? This is sort of continuing on the discussion that Ibrahim Saab highlighted, but we want to know from your hands-on experience in leading one of the topmost universities in Pakistan, in this region, what do you see, what do you want to see in your vice chancellors, in your rectors, in your deans, in your registrars?
I think it boils down to a collegial system. Colleges, universities have a collegial system where things are done through committees, which is very different from maybe industry, where whoever is leading the industry is going to say, "Ki ye aise aise karna hai," and that has to be done. So in universities, heads of departments, deans, registrars, they're all positions typically on rotation, and everyone is a colleague. So I think the foremost thing is to be able to listen to what the faculty is saying, and then through a consultative and collaborative mechanism come up with policies and take people along, because unless, and that sometimes is challenging, because when you want to effect change, it has to be nudged and pushed and not be coercive. So the whole idea is, in a collegial system, to be able to get faculty to align, to prioritize, to think what is important, everything can't be done, and then focus on the important things that can be achieved and work hard for that. So I don't think इसमें कोई यानी बहुत मुश्किल चीज़ है, as long as one is able to listen to people and in a collegial manner work towards a common goal. But what is important is that to have discussions, but then come to a resolution, come to a conclusion and say, okay, we've had our debates, had our discussions, now this is what we're going to do, and take it forward. The most important thing in any university at the core is the faculty. Agar achhi faculty nahi hogi, तो then कुछ भी नहीं होगा. So that's why it's key to sort of and important for faculty to feel important and take that ownership, and then, because at the end of the day they're going to inspire the students, they're going to make the magic work. So that I think is key.
हम इंस्टीट्यूशनल कल्चर की बहुत बात करते हैं, तो क्या अब ये ज़िम्मेदारी इस पे है कि भाई हम एक एमएस प्रोग्राम करा दें और हमारे लीडर्स अच्छे बन जाएंगे, या फिर हमें बहुत बड़े इकोसिस्टम को चेंज करना होगा जिसमें इंस्टीट्यूशनल कल्चर्स जो हैं वो चेंज हो रहे हैं, जिसमें वाइस चांसलरशिप इज़ नॉट जस्ट अ मैटर ऑफ प्रिविलेज एंड मैटर ऑफ पावर, but it's actually lot more than that. It's service, it's excellence, it's impact. तो आप बताइए कि किस तरह आपके ख्याल में हम वो इंस्टीट्यूशनल कल्चर्स जो हैं वो चेंज कर सकते हैं, बेहतर कर सकते हैं, in addition to hiring such unique MS higher education leadership and management programs.
Important to understand that because of this inherently collegial nature of a higher educational institution, it's not just a single person or a single entity that controls, do this and things happen, and it's not that type of an atmosphere or a culture that we should develop, at least have in HAI. When I first saw the MS program and its outline, well, I didn't see the outline, I was a little worried in terms of who is it targeted towards. Okay? Does a vice chancellor or a registrar have the time to go out and do a master's, or does an initiating or starting, let's say, lecturer or assistant professor at the university go through a master's program in higher education leadership and management? Would they be even able to appreciate the nuances and the requirements over there? देखिए, higher education leadership is a whole different ball game. इब्राहिम साहब ने वो कार्टून दिखाया, अच्छा कार्टून है, इट डज द सर्कल्स इन स्टैनफोर्ड एक्चुअली, एंड वो उसका जो कॉन्टेक्स्ट है वो ये है कि यू डोंट हर्ड प्रोफेसर्स लाइक यू डोंट हर्ड कैट्स, व्हाट यू डू इज़ यू मूव द फूड अराउंड. ठीक है, दैट्स द क्लोजिंग सेंटेंस, यू मूव द फूड अराउंड. वहाँ पे फंडिंग इज़ द फूड. ठीक है, so आप professors को अगर guide करना है ये वो, but as Dr. Jadoon said, it is collegial, it is something that needs discussion, it needs agreement coming in. So एक higher education की administration और management जो है वो completely different है as compared to any other institution like industry or a factory or something like that. This is a different type of institution. So इसकी the hard management subjects जो आप पढ़ाएंगे उसके अंदर भी फ्लेवर जो है वो एजुकेशनल मैनेजमेंट का होना चाहिए बिकॉज ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर नेचर ऑफ द बीस्ट. अदर देन दैट, थिंक इन टर्म्स ऑफ द हायर लीडरशिप. आपकी जो वाइस चांसलर है वो नॉर्मली चीफ एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑफिसर तो है, बट वो चीफ एकेडमिक ऑफिसर भी होता है. सो लिहाजा academics should be the strong point, and when you want to have a leader in an academic position, then it should be a person that the faculty is also looking up to. Okay, it can't be just somebody who is planted from outside and expected to earn the respect of the faculty. Faculty are the proverbial cats, ठीक है ना, उनको manage करना और herd करना is not an easy task. So higher education leadership and management जो है ना is completely different, and I'm glad that you've got this program. यहाँ पे जो मुझे पहुँच के फिर थोड़ी सी eye opening हुई कि ये weekend program आपने design किया है, which is where you could get it going. But I still feel that leadership in higher education is an evolutionary process. It is not a 2-year program कर दिया तो इसके बाद ही आप vice chancellor बन सकते हैं, something like that. So I would strongly urge UMT to think in terms of maybe taking pieces of this program and introducing them at the various educational hierarchical levels. आपने assistant professor जब select हो गए हैं तो आपको कम से कम ये वाले courses या ये वाली चीज़ें आ जानी चाहिए, exposure हो जाना चाहिए. The collegial part that Dr. Jadoon साहब ने mention किया, you become a member or part of various committees and councils in the university. You see the process of deliberation and decision making. So ये साथ साथ आपके एक training चल रही है. आप associate professor बने, एक और छोटी सी training करा दें. आप professor बनते हैं, एक और training करा दें, so that at the end of the day you have this pool of highly qualified leadership potential वाले candidates available for you. इस चीज़ को याद रखें कि number one, it's an evolutionary process. It's not a one-time 2-year exposure जिससे higher education के leaders बन जाएंगे. And also this particular understanding that higher education management is completely different from the management of a hospital or an industry or a factory or even the government.
One aspect that I picked up from your discussion, in addition to evolutionary process and very different traits of leadership in higher education as opposed to others, you use the word continuous professional development. This is rarely heard in the corridors of universities, certainly not in public sector universities. Private sector universities are much more innovative and much more aware. We move to Dr. Yasira, one of our finest deans, learned person, and we continue on this theme of how to develop leadership in higher education. You have led at UMT and in other institutions at sort of mid-level leadership of dean. At that level, how do you see, how do we go about identifying, nurturing and mentoring future leadership? How do we sort of think of succession while we are at the post? So what do you think we should be doing, and how important that idea of succession identification and mentoring is while one is at the seat of leadership?
Ji, Assalamu alaikum. I'm sitting here with two mentors here that I work very closely with, Dr. Tariq Jadoon Saab and Dr. Naveed Malik. And they both led institutions. They're very different from each other. So the challenges were very different also. So one thing which I learned, while working with Dr. Tariq Jadoon is full autonomy, freedom. So you hire good people, you trust them, and then you let them do what they want to do. So with that, there's a certain autonomy that comes in. there is a certain, leadership that comes in inherently, क्योंकि आपको full freedom मिल जाता है. But to do that, you have to hire the best, and then, let them lead their classrooms, let them lead the forums that they join, and the transparent and open discussions which are there. So मुझे अभी तक याद है कि when I was at LUMS, तो वहाँ पे उस वक्त जो डीन थे, डॉक्टर ताहिर अंद्रबी was the founding dean. तो एक हमारी मीटिंग हो रही थी, डॉक्टर फैसल बारी was there, और उन्होंने हम सबको कहा as faculty members कि he is the dean but he is nothing. ये याद रखना, तुम लोग जब चाहो उसको उठा के बाहर फेंक देना. Dean doesn't mean anything. It's you people. You actually are running the program. So wherever you think you don't agree with the dean, voice it out, say it. किसी का कोई ऐसा level नहीं है कि you can't say what you think is right. तो वो एक culture है where every person matters. Every person can say what they want to say. Or that culture then brings in that leadership in every person. क्योंकि you fearlessly voice out what you think is right and what you think is not right. But then accountability बहुत ज़्यादा है because you have to hold the highest standards to be in that group of people. तो वो एक different type of culture है where shared decision making is there. You agree on things with the dean and with the assistant professors and the lecturers, everyone at the same page. Everyone can say what they want to say. Students का भी feedback आप लेते हैं, openly लेते हैं, and you are willing to accept कि हाँ ये जो हमने किया था it didn't work, absolute failure. अब क्या करना है? So that's a big quality for an institute to have कि you accept, सारे मान जाए कि जी बड़ी मेहनत से प्रोग्राम शुरू किया था जी, हार्वर्ड भी गए, कैम्ब्रिज भी गए, इतनी टॉक्स की, लेकिन ये जो कोर्स था it was not needed. स्टूडेंट भी यही कह रहे हैं ये क्यों हमने बनाया, लेट्स डिलीट दिस, इसको चेंज करके एक नई चीज़ लेके आते हैं. सो दैट ब्रिंग्स इन अ क्वालिटी, लीडरशिप, autonomy, responsibility in every person. And I personally believe in that. तो उसमें वो जो एक level आ जाता है ना, that really helps in developing leadership in each and every person. अब जो दूसरा था, when I worked with Dr. Naveed Malik साहब at Virtual University, ये थोड़ा सा different model था. किस तरह? Because we had other faculty make courses. तो जो faculty at Virtual University थी, they were there to manage the courses. So top, industry से, field से, academia से, top people were involved in making the courses itself. कि जी आप ये course बनाएं, आप ये बनाएं, and we would pay them, and once the course was ready, it became the property of the university. तो वहाँ पे there was a very different challenge altogether. Challenge ये था कि our own faculty which was there at Virtual University, उनके hours तो बहुत थे, लेकिन उनको motivate करना to actually, bring a change, innovate, discussions को properly लेके चलें, because it was a huge student body which was there. Actually, to contribute meaningfully was a challenge. तो उनको freedom दे के देखा, that's what I tried, कि full freedom है. You come up with, या आपने questions बनाने हैं, discussions करनी है, but come up with your own way to manage the classes online. अच्छे तरीके से चीज़ें करें, but it wasn't leading to anything. वहाँ पे unfortunately a mechanism had to be brought in where you have to check in a lot कि भी आपने कहाँ तक किया, क्यों नहीं किया, what targets did you set, या आपने achieve किए या नहीं किए, because it was a culture जहाँ पे the going up a certain bar was not there. No one was motivated to put in the effort, no one was motivated to actually perform. और मुझे अभी तक याद है डॉक्टर नवीद मलिक कई बार आते थे और कहते थे कि ये सारे जो बैठे हुए हैं कंप्यूटर्स पे, मुझे बहुत आई एम वरीड कि एक्चुअली ये कर क्या रहे हैं. और वाइल वर्किंग विथ हिम आई ऑल्सो रियलाइज दिस कि उनके अंदर वो थी ही नहीं मोटिवेशन टू एक्चुअली कि भाई ये ऐसे ही वीडियो लेक्चर चल रहे हैं, सवाल आ रहे हैं, हम कोई इनोवेशन लेके आएँ, कोई गेम बेस्ड लर्निंग को करें, कोई किसी तरह मॉनिटर करें कि डिस्कशन फोरम पे कोई डिफरेंट चीज़ डालें. तो उनको थोड़ी सी चीज़ के लिए मोटिवेट करना वुड रिक्वायर सो मच एफर्ट. So this system of giving them full freedom didn't work there. So each institute is very different because of its culture, because of the people it hires, their level, and that determines their motivation and how much and to what extent they contribute then.
Thank you.
So there's no one leadership style that would work, in different types of universities because of the cultural difference, because of the people who come in there, and how the group performs when they are together.
Excellent. Transparency, freedom is important, but with accountability. Accountability is one word also we don't hear often. We move on to our next very shining dean, जिन्हें हम कभी कभार गलती से आरिफ अलवी करके पुकारते हैं. अभी भी गलती हुई कि आरिफ, लेकिन आतिफ अलवी साहब हमारा स्कूल ऑफ सिस्टम्स एंड टेक्नोलॉजी उसको लीड कर रहे हैं. और मेजर चैलेंज जो अब हम मूविंग फॉरवर्ड, और फ्यूचर रेडी यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में भी ये चैलेंज डिस्कस किया हमने, कि जो ये टेक्नोलॉजिकल एडवांसमेंट्स हैं, इन्होंने एक नया ऑन टॉप चैलेंज हमारे ऊपर दिया है, एक अपॉर्चुनिटी भी दी है इनोवेशंस की. तो ज़रा बताइए कि हमारे लीडरशिप, यूनिवर्सिटी लीडरशिप में किस तरह हम इस स्पेसिफिक चैलेंज को, जो न्यू इमर्जिंग टेक्नोलॉजी है, इमर्सिव टीचिंग टेक्निक्स हैं, किस तरह हम अडॉप्ट कर सकते हैं. यूएमटी में हम क्या कर रहे हैं कि इसमें हम इस प्रोसेस में हम लीड कर रहे हैं दूसरी यूनिवर्सिटी.
So even, I mean, before taking up the topic of emerging technologies, even the traditional technologies that we have, if they are not up to the standard, that is a cause of demotivation for the faculty. So a part of being a good leader is to provide the people under you who are working with you with the latest technologies to facilitate their work, because their main work is to teach, and you have to provide them with the best of the tools that are available. And now coming to the emerging technologies, so as you all know, AI is the new entrant that has entered with a bang in every sphere, not only teaching. And I mean, most so, of course, in the school that I'm leading, which is a school of computing named as School of Systems and Technology. But it has entered the lives of all the schools. And in fact, even every sphere of our lives outside of education as well. So coming to its application in academia, just as in academia we say publish or perish, so now I can say that either you evolve or you get extinct. So you don't have to, initially there was a time when there was a resistance to the adoption of AI, like with every new technology, like Luddites, as there are always Luddites over there. But now it has become sort of a given fact, or it has been accepted that you have to embrace AI. So the next challenge is how to do that. So for that, the leaders have to be, they have to lead. So the teachers are the leaders. So the teachers have to lead the way. What is happening is that we are seeing that in some places, students are actually leading the teachers. So there's a dire need to train our faculty. We have to set up faculty workshops, because even some of our teachers have a mindset that they don't want to change, they're comfortable in what they have been doing for so long. So there's a time to shake them up. And this AI, it is not only an enabler, but it is also a liberator. If you use it in the right way, it can free your time to do more productive things. Just like the President said, it leaves you time for intellectual things to do, and it frees you from the mundane tasks. Not only that, it helps the students, do things in a short amount of time which they previously were doing in a long amount of time. And that is also happening across the industry. So you hear of layoffs right now from the software big industry. For example, Microsoft laid off recently. Other companies are also laying off, but we should not be much alarmed by that, because now with time, new roles will be created, new roles that are not there right now. So AI will take away jobs, but we are hoping that will also create new jobs, and it will fulfill our lives in ways that we have not seen before. So technology, from whichever university you have come, I urge you to request your leadership. If you are in a position where you can make decisions yourself, please go and get the best AI tools. Make your faculty use them, and make your students use them. And you also have to inculcate in them the ethical, a spirit of ethics. I mean, without ethics, AI can be very dangerous. So the foremost challenge is using it responsibly and in an ethical way.
Leadership is an evolutionary process. Continuous professional development is important. Transparency, connection, engagement with leaders in the top and your faculty, and technological advancement and prophetic model that I would take away for my to read list. Thank you so much for being very patient and great audience. We will stop at this place. And before I stop, can I thank on behalf of all of us our panelists. Thank you so much.
Yes, please.